Welcome back to the David Pakman Show.
Welcome to the bonus show. China is back in the bonus show headlines. The Chinese Communist Party has banned believers. They have banned religion in, some religion in their party. Of course, China only recognizes certain religions, but they are trying, I guess. This isn't as much about communism and atheism as it is about kind of trying to eliminate Western influence. And it's both, but eliminating Western influence is a big deal here. And the communist leadership in Zhejiang province declared it will double down on a long-standing but little enforced rule that bars religious believers from joining the party. The party has about 85 million members. And I guess this was a rule that they didn't really enforce. I mean, some people in the party just aren't really doing much anyway, not very active. And how do you really crack down on this? But I guess they're trying to make a statement now. And is this a good thing? Should the Chinese Communist Party be free of Christians and Muslims and so forth?
Well, maybe they believe that they should. Maybe they'd be more easily able to accomplish their goals. But I don't think banning religion is the solution to the problem of religion. I think it is, first of all, having a completely secular society in terms of the connection between government and religion, which in the U.S. is a pretty blurred line, I must say. Obviously not a theocracy, but if some Republicans had their way, it would be a form of that. And we have to just make it so that religion is a private matter. Religion is not a factor, and everybody knows it's not a factor in determining social policy, government policy, legal policy, etc. And make it so that religion becomes kind of more of it's in your home in the same way that we don't know what hobbies you might have in your home or what TV shows you watch in your home. There's this thing called religion. And that's it. And I don't know that a ban on religion is the way to do it, particularly since calling attention to things by trying to ban them rarely is a good idea. So is religion a bad thing for the Communist Party in China? Maybe so. I would take their word for it. But in general, I don't think that banning religion is the solution to the problems caused by religion.
The 5 official religions of China are Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, Protestantism, and Catholicism. And Christianity was booming there for a while, which is unfortunate. But that's what's going on in China. There is a motion against believers. There are some areas where churches have been targeted and demolished, being classified as illegal structures. We'll see what happens with this. I think those who are religious probably aren't going to have much of a voice, and no one's really going to care in the government or in the Communist Party. We certainly know the government does whatever they want. They will demolish your house, relocate you, put you in a concrete cell, essentially. Yeah, they don't care. China does not care. Let's get to a brighter story here. Excuse the pun, but you'll see why that was a pun in a second. This Super Bowl was the first Super Bowl to be played under LEDs. LEDs that use 75% less power than the bulbs that were powering, pretty much power all the stadiums, but this one in the University of Phoenix Stadium where the game was held, it was recently upgraded. And they replaced 780 metal halide fixtures with 44,929 of these LEDs. And what's amazing about this is that not only is there about a 75% cut or decrease in the power needed to illuminate the stadium, but it puts out more light. It's more efficient all around. And this is kind of a big deal. There wasn't much talk about this, but imagine the power we would save if across the entire country, every home, every stadium, every business, if everything were fitted with LED lights instead of the traditional bulbs. I mean, that would be huge.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about it because they say, oh, in my electric bill, the lights are a small percentage of my bill, like my fridge. And if you have electric heat, certainly that's a much bigger portion, air conditioning. So people often write off the impact of the bulbs. But if everybody did this across the country, it would be such an insane decrease in the amount of power consumption.
And that, of course, depending on where you live and where your power is coming from, I mean, that could mean a cleaner country, couldn't it? Because a lot of it's coming from coal plants, and we would reduce the output that we need to light everything. But another interesting thing about these is that they reach their full intensity just about immediately. But a few years ago, there was the Super Bowl where there was a blackout. You remember that?
Yeah.
And they got the lights back on, I guess, relatively quickly, but those bulbs took about 20 minutes to reach their full intensity. And so that's why it took so damn long. That added to it anyway. So yeah, this is great. Now let's just power those lights with renewable energy, and we'll be in good shape. Are there any stadiums where, retractable or not, where the top is covered in solar panels? I mean, has that been happening?
If it has, I haven't heard of it yet.
Yeah, that seems like a logical next step. I think we should work on that too. Okay, here is a huge story coming to us from New York. As I'm sure most of you will recall, quite a while ago we talked about, I believe it was a Canadian company, although I can't be sure, that did a test of popular supplements from across North America, United States, Canada, and they discovered that many of these supplements contained none of the ingredients that it claimed to include, and there was just a lot of filler. But they did not tell us anything else. They didn't tell us what stores were carrying these products, which products they were, which companies manufacture these products. They didn't tell us anything. But the New York Attorney General, I guess, has been going after these fraudulent supplements, and they have actually given us some information about where it's being sold and which ones to look out for. And they use DNA testing of lots of different supplements. GNC, Target, Walmart, and Walgreens sold supplements that either couldn't be verified to contain the labeled substance or that contained ingredients not listed on the label at all. Are you surprised by that list of companies?
Absolutely not.
No, of course. That's the first. Those would be the first four that come to mind. Certainly GNC, Target, and Walmart. But I guess the supplements that were the biggest offenders here were echinacea, ginseng, St. John's wort, garlic, ginkgo biloba, and saw palmetto. I don't know what that last one is. Do you?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it's supposed to do, though.
A lot of these were contaminated with other things, including rice, beans, pine, citrus, asparagus, and primrose, wheat, houseplant, and wild carrot. And one of the craziest parts about this is that some of them actually contained, I think one of them contained black walnut, which was not labeled, which of course, if you are allergic, could be a pretty big problem.
Not to mention, I mean, I know we already talked earlier in the week on the bonus show about the whole gluten-free thing and it being bogus in many cases. But if it contains wheat and that's not labeled, also, if you actually have celiac disease, that could be a real problem for you.
That's true. Good point. 21% of the test results from store brand herbal supplements contained DNA from the plants listed on the labels. So 21% were legit. The retailer with the poorest showing was, guess which one?
I would guess Walmart.
Of course, Walmart, where 4% of the products tested actually showed DNA from the plants listed on the labels.
See, this is so insane because on the one hand, these products aren't regulated by the FDA. So you're kind of supposed to go in and be skeptical of any health claims that they make. But at the same time, because they're not labeled by the FDA or regulated by the FDA, there's very little recourse now because they're not considered medical products. They're not considered regulated food and drug products. So it's a really bad double bind.
And you can actually go and find the brands that were tested here. I guess in Walmart, Spring Valley is the name of one of their brands. Different stores have different brands, of course, and you can find that information online. And this is great. I don't know why during that other study, they did not come out and say which brands these were. I mean, were they afraid of a lawsuit?
I don't know if it was afraid of a lawsuit, but I think they just said, this is an academic test. We're not in the business of prosecution. And thus, we are not going to go out and attack individual companies. It's not really an attack. It's just provide data about individual companies. But now that this is coming through the New York prosecutor, they're in the business of prosecuting.
The thing about Walmart is once one of these companies secures a contract with Walmart, that's the holy grail of contracts. I heard a story about a very small company that got a Walmart contract. Their products were going to be sold in Walmarts. And the contract with Walmart was worth more than the company. As soon as they got that contract, they sold the company and made bank. And I'm assuming in the cases of a lot of these supplements and probably a lot of Walmart products, as soon as you get that contract, you probably start cutting costs and you can probably start, how closely is Walmart going to monitor all of these products?
I see what you're saying. Right. Yeah. They're going to monitor to make sure that they keep pushing the cost down, but they're not going to be necessarily monitoring something like a supplement to see what is the makeup of the supplement.
Right. I would not expect Walmart to do that because it would cost them money. I think it's like if it's out of sight, out of mind. If you don't know what's going on, you don't care and just keep things going the way they're going. But I wouldn't expect Walmart to do that. So this is what happens. And I guess GNC isn't doing it either. And I guess Target isn't doing it either. But there it is. Be very careful. Go online and look this stuff up if you ever buy these supplements from any of those stores. Of course, not surprising at all. This stuff needs to be regulated much more closely. Agreed?
Absolutely. And, right now, I don't buy any of these things. So it's kind of, I think it's obviously a serious issue in terms of business honesty and all that, but I'm not personally affected by it. But if I determine that I wanted to be on some kind of supplement regimen, and I'm going along thinking I'm actually taking the supplement and it turns out that I'm not, that would just be insane. And there could be legitimate lawsuits around this in the sense that if you for years are buying a supplement and it contains none of it, there's a significant opportunity cost to that in terms of, I've now spent 2 years not on the supplement I thought would give me an advantage, a physical advantage. There could be actual lawsuits around that.
And we shall see. That's it for the bonus show.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.